All right, guys. Let's start quieting down and getting into the stream, guys. Welcome in. If it's your first time, welcome. This is Geekly Goods, guys, and every Sunday we come together to talk the latest movie news that's happened this week. We got a lot to cover, y'all, as usual. You know this industry don't stop, right? There's so much that happens week to week with DC coming with more news, guys. Henry Cavill is out as Superman. That's it. He said it. We're done. Superman is no more Henry Cavill. It's so upsetting, but at the same time, we're looking at broad new horizons. We also got the Golden Globe nominations this week. Across the Spider-Verse got a teaser. And of course, the Avatar 2. Guys, what the hell? It's been 13 years. Is it worth it? Well, that box office is starting to tell us a little something now, ain't it? We got a couple of folks in the chat, but first I want to introduce my co-host, aka Marcellus Durden from Twitter, my boy Loretto. What's going on, Marcellus? How you doing, bro?
Good evening from the West Coast. Congratulations to the 2022-2023 NFC West champions, my San Francisco 49ers. I always gotta give that quick shout, but hey, you're looking blue doo dabu dee-boo. Loving the filter. I'm so glad to talk about tonight. I had a great weekend and I'm ready to kind of kick back and talk shop with my boy. Thank you as always, Leo.
Man, I'm jelly right now. I'm jelly. My NFL team won today, but we've been struggling all year. So you know what? I'm happy for you. I'm happy.
Hey, congratulations to the Broncos, man. Congratulations.
Man, we ain't doing no Broncos hype right now. but man, yeah, like we're on Pandora over here, as you can see. But excited to start the show, man. And appreciate you coming through as usual. And we got Eric Patterson rolling into the house, man. What's going on, Eric?
What's up,
Zach
Eric?
Milne What's up, man? The fans are maybe upset, but I'm sure The Rock is furious. Oh, man. We'll definitely be talking a little bit more about that, man. And what's going on, Nathan Hun? Welcome
What's up, Nathan? Represent Goldview, San Jose Pop Punk in the building.
Right on. In the building? If I had some sound
Goldview.
effects, I'd hit you up, man. But
No, seriously, when you get a chance, Leo, they're really awesome. Great band.
Sweet. I will check them out. All right, guys, let's start with our first segment, which is 1 to 10. We're pulling out movies from trailers from across the week. And I say across because that's what we're starting with. You go ahead and let us know down in the comments from 1 to 10 how you're feeling about this movie. 1 being not feeling it at all. 10 being you're hype about it. Guys, let's start with the big elephant in the room, Across the Spider-Verse. This trailer dropped today. It was the first full official trailer after the teaser about 7-8 months ago now, because it was supposed to come out recently. So yeah. But yeah,
all the Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, man. Super excited with this Spider-Verse here. Let's be real here, man. I'm Spider-Man bias. I love everything Spider-Man. The chair, this. Let's see, I got 3 or 4 Funkos on the floor. That is Spider-Man. I mean, I'm a huge Spider-Man freak. Read all original 700 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man. Read a lot of Superior Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. I love this character. I've beaten PS4, PS1, and Miles Morales. Love this character to death. Super excited for Across the Spider-Verse. There's going to be 6 different animation styles. Something upwards of like 60 or 70 different spider people in this movie. It's going to be fantastic. The animation continues to impress. That stunning, wonderful, comic-driven, jittery look. It's just beautiful, man. And honestly, I think we might be looking at Sony's best animated picture to date once we get that movie. I mean, the first one won not numerous Oscar awards. It won animation that year. And it's a beautiful movie. We got so much beautiful colors out of that first one, and they're just coming back with it this time with more styles. I mean, one of the 6 is going to be Spider-Gwen, is going to have like a more kind of painted look to her, like a kind of watercolor painting look to her world. It's going to be super cool, man. I'm really looking forward to it. How you feeling, man? 1 to 10, Lo. How you feeling?
Oh, it's got to be a 10, baby. And look, before I go on my little spiel here, I will preface this with don't hear what I'm not saying. I was rooting for Isle of Dogs when Into the Spider-Verse won.
What?
But I was really happy they did get. He left the chat. Oh, my boy left the chat. I'm a big Wes Anderson guy, so don't hear what I'm not saying, because Into the Spider-Verse was incredible. It's one of the best comic book films, period, across film history. So I am super excited for this. It's a 10 for me. And let me highlight something real quick. Zach Milne talks movies. This is what I'm talking about here. He says the voiceover by Miles' mom was a good touch. And that's what got me. That's what hooked me. Like, as crazy as we can get with all the multiverse stuff, I like that they're still grounding it with some real emotions. Just hearing like Miles' mom talk to him about, hey, you're getting older. Please take care of yourself. I loved that. That whole voiceover was beautiful. And of course,
yes,
amongst the voiceover, we get all of our little cameos, Spider-Man from the PS4 and all that stuff. And of course, we got Spider-Man 2099 in the mix. But I like that at the core, we're still focusing on Miles's heart and also his connection with Gwen, which I can't wait to see more of. They're over here upside down, getting all cute. She's putting her head on his shoulder. I'm excited. I love this family so much. The Spider family, Spider-Man Noir and all that. I hope they all come back. I can't wait to see even more. I think the Phil Lord and Christopher Miller.
Chris Miller, yeah.
Yeah, Lord Miller, whatever. I always mix their names up, but I'm just so happy to see what they have in store for us. They haven't missed yet in the past few years. Lego Movie, Into the Spider-Verse, like they're killing it. So
yeah, they've been on a track record, man, and they're doing their absolute best at these animated movies. That first one was such a love letter to comic books, like just the animation styles with different little comic book bubbles and pages, and it's just such a love letter to this medium. And I love what they did with that first one so much with the music, and I think that this has got to win that Oscar. Like I can't see too much coming up against it. I think this is going to snag that animation once again for a Spider-Verse movie. Now, maybe we might have something that will sneak up, but I can't foresee anything beating this out, man. You got so many different Spider-Man in this movie. The bombastic Bagman, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man PS1, Spider-Man PS4, Lady Spider. We got all these different Spider People variants that are coming in. This is going to be so tight. I mean, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, baby. This is going to be such a freaking cool culmination of these Spider characters. Man, I can't wait. Like,
did we have a Jessica Drew? I think we saw Spider Woman, right?
Yeah, we do. We got Jessica Drew, Spider-Man.
Cool.
Peter B. Parker is back again. We've got Mayday Parker is going to be in it. This is going to be Spider Punk, who is voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. By the way, Spider Woman looks freaking awesome with the afro and shit. She looks freaking dope. Like Jessica looks awesome, man. I think that character is going to be like a new favorite, kind of like the noir, and it's going to be like she's going to be like a new central cool character along with Spider-Man 2099. And then Peter B, I think Mayday might have like one little scene or something. You can see him with the baby carrier, so it's clear that he's got a child, and it's just going to be so phenomenal. I can't wait. I think if Sony really want to credit their own Spider-Man universe, have Sony Animations be the one in control. Yeah, the Spider-Verse is doing well. That SUMC stuff, which we got that story this week with the whole Donald Glover being the hood dude or something. I was like, look, man, that is such a minor Spider-Man villain.
Yo, the hypnotic hustler or something like that.
Hypnotic hustler. Hypnotic hustler, whoever. I was like, dude, we don't need that.
I love Donald Glover, but yeah,
easily been continued, and he was Prowler in Homecoming. I'm like, I don't know why they took him away over to the SUMC. It's a mess. But anyway, I'm a hot 10 out of 10 for this one, and we can get moving because I will keep on rambling. We're gonna move to Scream 6, which not a lot shown in that teaser. I think this is the very perfect teaser because it just doesn't give you a lot, gives you a little piece, a little crumb to really chew on until the movie gets out. And I think that this is the perfect way to get the interest in, just enough to where we don't know too much about it, but it still looks interesting. We saw the teaser. Nice. Okay. You ripping shirts off now? What the hell? Damn, bro. When did this turn to Magic Mike?
Yo.
My man said.
I'm hyped.
Oh,
I am hyped. Ghostface forever, man. But yeah, what's your I need to get a feel for your levels right now.
Oh, at Scream?
Yeah.
Oh man, Scream is my favorite horror franchise, so I'm a heavy 10 out of 10 on this one. I love that teaser. It looks like they might be going back to a concept that I heard around Scream 3, Scream 4 with like the mob and the mob mentality stuff, because like there's multiple ghost faces in the trailer, but there's like the ghost face. What's most interesting about this ghost face is the mask looks all old and worn. And I'm like, okay, so former killer, what angle we going for here with the old worn mask? So I think it looks, with what we got, it could be very, very interesting. Another interesting mystery. They keep on bringing us back with these fresh, interesting mysteries. The team who did this did Ready or Not. There's like a character in the trailer who's dressed like Samara Weaving's character in that movie. Like there's all these cute, cool little Easter eggs in the trailer. I think I saw something that was like Friday the 13th Illusionary. And there's just like all these cool little Easter eggs in that little teaser. But I think the most interesting thing is all those different killers on the train, dude. So that I'm like, okay, what we going for here? I'm definitely excited. Tyler with the ghost face dies tonight.
Don't start.
Oh, man. Halloween kills, baby. But how are you feeling, man?
Yo, okay, so obviously, I'm a big Ghostface fan myself. That was the first horror movie I could sit through when I saw it way back when I was a wee little lad. But this teaser, you said it well, man. This is literally a perfect teaser, and I think more movies need to take this approach because they'll show a trailer that shows about 60 to 70% of the entire film in a trailer. I need more trailers like this that just gets us excited, gives us the vibes of this new world. We're gonna be in New York City. I love the the title cards reminded me of Alien, because in the original Alien, it was like no one can hear you scream in space, but Scream 6 is over here saying like in a city of millions, no one can hear you scream, something like that. I thought it was kind of fun, kind of playing on that tagline. And I have two thoughts. If you haven't seen this teaser, go watch it. It's really cool. It's really short. There's not much going on, so it's not spoiler heavy. But I have two thoughts. Number one, this could be like a dream sequence. I thought it was really interesting that all of them were there together and we're seeing all these ghost faces. So maybe this is just happening in someone's head. Number two, though, what I did like you said, that like with the Warren mask and stuff, I think that kind of adds to the dream scenario. But another thing here is, I feel like we're in for like a whole new, like they're throwing everything out. Like I think when we get to New York, it's gonna be its own entity. It's gonna be like the poster says New York, new rules. So I think we are gonna throw out all that Woodsboro stuff, all of Randy's rules, even his niece, was it Mindy? Yeah, we're throwing out Mindy rules. Yo, this is gonna be a whole new thing, and I think that's what's the most exciting about this teaser. I love the vibe of it. And also on that note, please leave Mindy alone, because they killed his uncle. Her uncle got killed in the second Scream, and I was not having it. That was my favorite character.
Leave Mindy alone, bro. Leave Mindy alone, yo. I literally, that was like the only thing I posted from the teaser was like, leave Mindy alone. Like this family has had enough.
She needs to be protected.
Leave her alone, man,
at all costs. But yeah, I'm a 10, bro. I'm a 10. I love this franchise. I really liked Scream. I know it had a mixed reception online, but that's just how it is nowadays.
Scream 5. I thought you meant like the Scream franchise. I was like, who?
Well, Scream 5, that had its lovers, but it also had its fair share of people kind of like whatever about it.
Yeah.
But I think with this incarnation, this is another reason why I'm excited. Throwing out everything we've seen before, I think if we have a fresh take on the Ghostface mythology here, I think we're in for a treat.
And we're bringing back Kirby. Like, I think that we're going to get some more legacy characters. And I gotta really be careful because I do know a couple of things, but I definitely foresee some crazy twists happening. That's for sure. Like I think we're in for it, bro. Like I think we're gonna see something's gonna happen that we didn't see coming. So I'm really excited for it. Appreciate you, Zach Milne. I was scrolling through the comments. He said it looked like I'm in Avatar. Yes, sir. We on Pandora tonight. Stranger Things or Wednesday? Oh, good question. I'm going Stranger Things just because it's had a lot more content come out. But Wednesday was a fun season 1. How about you, Lo? Stranger Things or Wednesday? Have you checked out Wednesday?
Stranger Things by none. And look, this is nothing against Tim Burton or Jenna Ortega. They did a phenomenal job. I love the soundtrack. We have Wednesday on her balcony playing, and the Rolling Stones paint it black. We have this beautiful montage over a cello version of Metallica's "Nothing Else Matters."
But you're going Stranger Things, ain't you?
I really like the detective Nancy Drew kind of thing going on with Wednesday. I thought the mystery was fun. It's a great show. I watched the whole thing, Leo, but yes, I'm going with Stranger Things. I mean, we got 5 seasons of cinematic quality, like sci-fi horror storytelling with a great cast. Wednesday is not quite there yet, but they're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's not. It needs like 4 or 5 more seasons. It ain't there yet. Not yet. But we'll go to our next and last 1 to 10. Barbie, which never thought I'd be pulling up like the cast of The Boys talking about, let me get a ticket to Barbie, bro. But I'm ready to go, dude. Margot Robbie looks great. I'll admit, I didn't even know Issa Rae was in this movie. So I seen the teaser. I was like, oh, okay. Simu Liu, Ryan Gosling. Guys, I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, like, seriously, the set looks great. Greta Gerwig. I love Lady Bird.
Wait, hold on, bro. Did you say Gosling?
Yes, Ryan Gosling. That's what I'm gonna call that mug.
Okay.
I'm calling him Ryan Gosling from now on. Affleck. But I loved how this looks. And Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird is easily one of my favorite A24 movies. I think it's just a phenomenally shot, beautifully acted, wonderful story. And I think that Greta Gerwig really, for me, proved her direction through that movie. Now, I know a lot of people like Little Women, and I think it's a beautifully made movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a very well-made movie. Maybe not quite my speed, but I do enjoy and admire the filmmaking. I admire it as a film, but it's not for me. So I just am like, okay, go ahead and y'all enjoy that Little Women because I love Lady Bird, but I think that Barbie has a lot of potential, especially with this director attached. Margot has just been killing it every role. I'm unpopular here because the reviews are coming out. I liked Babylon a lot. So, and I like Tanya. I think she's had a great tenure throughout her career, Margot Robbie. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. What'd you think of that Barbie? I think I'm at like an 8, to be honest with you.
So interesting thing. I respect the heck out of Greta Gerwig as a filmmaker. I also love Lady Bird. And I'm actually on the side. I loved Little Women, like with a capital LOVED exclamation point, exclamation point. This was the last film I saw before COVID shut the world down. I don't know if y'all remember that March of 2020. This was like, I saw it for my 3rd time in theaters in some random ass theater in Palo Alto near Stanford. And I sat in that theater. And then after that, the world went to shit. Pardon my language. But I love Little Women. I think it's great. And here's my thing with Barbie. When it was announced, you know, Margot Robbie, great. Ryan Gosling, great. Greta Gerwig, I respect her as a filmmaker. But when I was announced, I was like, why? Like, why do we need a film about this doll Barbie? Like, what is happening? But we get this teaser trailer, and this teaser trailer puts us in a Stanley Kubrick 2001 Space Odyssey homage, which the film nerd in me is jumping out of his chair already. And then we get this quick little 2-second clip of the money shot of the map and Ryan Gosling and Simu Liu doing like, it looks like a musical dance number, whatever it is, all pink and bright. And it colored me intrigued. That was my thoughts of the second it came out. Noah Baumbach is helping Greta write this, which is another baffling choice because Noah Baumbach is known for like Squid and the Whale and Marriage Story and all these Lars and the Real Girl, all these like somber indie stories, and they're making Barbie. So again, it's like I'm excited, but I'm also like, what is this movie? Like, we got these 2 talented filmmakers making this Barbie world fantastical musical. It's such a baffling clash of aesthetics, in my opinion, because they're both like indie filmmakers jumping into this fantastical play world. So I am tentatively at a 7, mostly because of how strong the teaser was.
Yeah, I think it kind of seems to me like it's going to kind of be some kind of symbolism for that industry's evolution, maybe, because it was like just in the beginning in the 2001 homage when they're in space, it appeared. I kind of got it as like little girls were playing with dolls and all of a sudden like Barbie was the change to all that. So it's gonna be something along the lines of that. Yeah, you got your boy Ray, bang bang Niners gang.
Hey, one time for the one time. Ooh, bang bang, let's go. All right, I'm done. I promise.
No, you're good, man. Hey, I get it. When your team's doing well, it's time to celebrate. For me, my heart's broken right now, but yeah.
No, and that's exactly why. I'm so sorry. Like Broncos country, I feel for you guys.
Let's not ride.
Yeah, yo, I feel.
Let's park. Goddamn. Let's back it up in the reverse.
Circle the wagons.
Let's back it up in reverse and regroup. Sheesh. Let's ride. Nah, let's ride our asses over to the locker room and really revise our strategies.
Oh, hey, Tyler got you right there, Leo.
Yeah, let's cry for sure. I'm crying. Every time somebody's talking about football now, I'm like, look, man, I'm happy for you, but wow, I'm ready to cry. But yes, Barbie looks like a good one. Let's get into the main meat and the potatoes of the show. We'll go with the roundup. Pass it over to you, Loretto. You're on mute, bro.
All right. First up on the docket, y'all. Let's pour one out. I mean, I don't have a physical drink to pour out, but let's pour one out for Henry Cavill. He bid us an emotional farewell on his Instagram as he confirmed he will not reprise his role as Superman. It's hard to see in the text there, but he said he just had a meeting with James Gunn. Sad news. He will not be returning as Superman, as being told by the studio to announce his return in October prior to the hiring of James Gunn and Peter Safran, he says the news isn't the easiest, but that's life. And he goes on to thank everyone for supporting him. And we're also reminding us that Superman is still around. He exists, and everything he stands for is still there. And look, I don't know how anyone feels about Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman or Justice League, either incarnation of that film, the Justice League or the Zack Snyder cut. But look, I think Henry Cavill got a really bad rap with this entire DC extended universe. He is a great fit for Superman. He has the physical build. He has the acting chops, which I think was severely underrated, despite the fact that he was in some so-so films. And then we also, just the fact that he had to announce his return in October because of Black Adam. We have him in the post-credit of Black Adam, hyping people up, and whether or not people liked Black Adam, I think that was a resounding positive reception to his return. So for DC Studios to backpedal on this, and I'm not throwing shade at James Gunn, I think he's a great filmmaker. I think he might have a good plan in the future for DC. This is probably one of the most upsetting things to happen in the aftermath of James Gunn and Peter Safran being the head of DC Films moving forward. I know, Leo, you wanted to nuke this and just restart fresh. I get that. But I think for people that, A, for Superman fans, and B, for the Snyder Legion, whatever you want to call them, C, just for people that thought he was a good actor in this role, this is a pretty sad day. Leo, how did this impact you at all, if at all? And what are your standings on the new Superman, whoever it may be? Like, where do we think we're going at this point?
Yes, it is sad. It's unfortunate that Henry Cavill had to be a casualty in all this because, I don't think he ever got the chance to really prove himself as Superman. He got Man of Steel 1, BVS, which was largely a Batman film and a large disappointment. I think that he didn't really get a chance. So it's kind of unfortunate that he didn't get a chance to really exhibit this role, to really make this role his own, because I'm sorry, Zack Snyder, I'm gonna say it, man. The two that he did, Man of Steel, BVS, they just were weakly written. So it was like this character was not written to a way that is traditional Superman, and in my opinion, it wasn't a good shift for that character. I just think that it would benefit them to get Henry Cavill back one more time. But you know what? If it means we get to reset the whole universe and this is just one casualty, if it means we gotta get rid of Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, all of them, get rid of them. Get rid of all of it. And I'm not even just talking just them. Get rid of Peacemaker. Get rid of Harley Quinn. Let's go ahead and start from scratch. Let's start all the way over. Let's go ahead and just start with a fresh, clean slate. Let's start from the beginning. No more Henry Cavill. No more Superman, definitely Superman, but no more him as Superman. No more Gal Gadot. No more anybody. Let's go ahead and just start from scratch. Start with the big three. Roll with Superman. Make that your first movie. Then let's maybe get a Wonder Woman, and let's just rebuild this universe one more time, because it just did not work the first time. I hold my same sentiments that I think DC shines truly when they just do independent movies of any kind of universe. So like the Batman, Joker, that's their bread and butter, I think, but they just really are so attached to this multiverse idea and this extended universe and this cinematic universe. So go for it, but let's just go ahead and start from scratch. Honestly, sorry, Henry, got done dirty, but we got to move on. And if that's one thing we got to do to move on, let's go ahead and keep doing it. Scrap everything, though. Aquaman, Ezra Miller, all that crap. Scrap it all. Let's scrap it all. Let's get a reset going, and let's move forward. This is the past. It's time to keep on going. And James Gunn, I think, was put in such a hard situation, because if you think about it, the man comes in and it's like, okay, hey, James Gunn, we got your Suicide Squad. We had David Ayers, by the way. Yours cleaned that up. We have Black Adam. Oh, by the way, he's not going to be a Shazam villain. We're going to put Superman in there. See how complicated, and it just was so complicated. He might as well come in, cut the cord, and just reset this entire universe. I think whatever he has in store, hopefully, is more organized and executed better than the DCEU.
So let me ask you, Leo, because again, this is the future as it stands. Um, I heard rumors. You probably know more than me, but I mean, I heard rumors that James Gunn supposedly is writing his own Superman. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So, how do you think they should move forward? Do you think we should just get a fresh face? Is
Oh
there
yeah.
anyone that you would like to see tackle on the role, or is that your sentiment? Like, let's just get a fresh talent that we've never seen before.
Yeah, so I've seen some weird fan castings, that's for sure. Dak Montgomery, I was like, nah, I don't know. He doesn't have the charisma, I don't think. Let's see, what are some other ones I saw? Actually, Manda AMXMDA Reviews had a really good suggestion of Pearl, the dude that was in Pearl. I was
I
like,
like
okay,
that guy.
him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was
like
like,
that guy. I don't even know his
okay,
name.
from
Yeah, he was cool.
Hollywood. And I was like, okay, I think he could be a good one, put on 20, 30 pounds of muscle. Like, I'm like, okay, I roll with that. I dig that idea. But if not him, an unknown, somebody we never really have known before. Yeah, just get somebody. Like, let's get somebody who fits and looks like he could be Superman, and then let's have James Gunn's writing and another director bring that out of him. Because I think Gunn for writer is great. I actually think that's a great idea. He knows how to really bring the heart, and he really knows how to bring heart and family out of characters. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely think him for Superman is a good idea.
Zach Millen is spitting facts right now. Real quick, he said a reset is needed as well. He says you need your audience to be hooked into the universe from the start. Man of Steel and BVS were too divisive to start your universe, and I agree with that. But also, I like that he highlighted that it's hard to imagine James Gunn canceling his own show, but he might need to make that decision for the greater good of the universe.
Yeah, just make it for the greater good. What's Peacemaker really gonna do for the wider DCEU at this point? Like, just go ahead and cancel that too if you got to.
Hey, I feel you, and I think whatever vision that James Gunn has, like I said, I trust him as a filmmaker. He hasn't made a film in the past decade that I haven't enjoyed in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the Suicide Squad or the Guardians of the Galaxy, or even going back.
Super.
Yeah, going back to the beginning with Slither, Dawn of the Dead. I think James Gunn is a great storyteller / filmmaker. I trust his vision. A lot of people want to have a lot of things they want to say about him, but I think in terms of his storytelling, I think he will be okay. And if that's a fresh start, that remains to be seen. But I think that's probably the direction that we're heading. So,
yeah, and a little offshoot off of this. Now the Rock has unfollowed the Black Adam Instagram and Twitter and the DC Instagram and Twitter. Clearly, he's upset.
Like, the hierarchy has changed in the social media of DC.
He's talking about, the hierarchy of the DCEU is going to change. It sure in the fuck has. With him at the bottom. Yeah, it sure has, buddy. With you at the bottom.
Look, I was just saying, I don't really hate The Rock as much as some people want to hate him right now. I think as much as he does things for people to see, I think at his heart, he's a good person. He's a pretty good actor, and I wish him the best. But you know what? Nobody wanted to see your Black Adam movie.
No, nobody wanted to see it. And I'm
so sorry. Like, nobody wanted it. Like,
I mean, there's some people who were like championing that shit, but it's just kind of like wasn't marketed well. It didn't do
the
well.
Numbers don't
came
lie.
Out and it was just
right.
Bleh,
the critics, the numbers, the response.
Yeah, it just wasn't that great. Tyler saying he'll ignore the Justice League cameo of Peacemaker if they want me to get it season 2. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with them scrapping it, but if he wants to keep that and it's just like its own separate thing, go for it. Because I love the Peacemaker TV show, but if we nuke that to get the new universe with fresh stuff, cool with that too.
Yeah,
definitely. Brock never wanted to fight Shazam. Yeah, for real. Well, he wants to fight Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm like, this ain't how the comics goes at all, bro. But okay, go for it, man.
With that being said, let's bid Henry Cavill adieu. You did a great job, man, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled. The DCEU in its original incarnation just did not function the way that it should have. Moving right along, Studio Ghibli announces that Hayao Miyazaki's How We Live is set to premiere in 2023. And I don't know about you, Leo, but I do know that you are a big fan as well, as much as I am. We got Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, Grave of the Fireflies, Ponyo. So many amazing animated films. I actually didn't realize Hayao Miyazaki's back in action. I thought he was retired. So for me, this was super exciting news. He hasn't made a picture that hasn't either brought me to a tear or put the biggest smile on my face. I'm talking about Totoro, and Princess Mononoke is one of the coolest, like most imaginative ways to, I think in the same vein of James Cameron and his Avatar films, it's getting us to be more conscious of our planet and what our connection to nature and animals and plants. And Hayao Miyazaki's been doing this since the 90s, guys, or even the 80s even. And Nausicaa, I think was like whether the Breath of the Wind or whatever it was. Nausicaa was a good indication of that as well. And I think Princess Mononoke kind of doubled up on that same theme of man versus nature and industrialization versus, like forests and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Miyazaki's a masterful filmmaker, and I'm so excited to see what he does next. Leo, I know you're a pretty big fan, man. How excited are you for this news?
Very excited. I mean, any new Ghibli film you give me, I'll be there. And look, I know people are probably thinking in the comments the Earwig and the Witch. We're not gonna count that. We're just gonna pretend like that never came out. But damn near every other Studio G film has been fantastic up to now. I mean, Princess Mononoke being my favorite, Spirited Away being absolutely mind-blowing, and an example of why more anime, even outside of Ghibli, needs to be nominated for the Oscar awards. But I just, honestly, anything Miyazaki drops, I'm like down. Studio Ghibli did the Baby Yoda short, the Grogu short for Disney Plus a little bit earlier this month. No, a little bit earlier last month. And it was really nice. It was really somber, chill, just like this very kind of cerebral, chill experience. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. So it was definitely not like a film, but it was something just like a nice wet your whistle type of animation that just reminded you of how unique Studio Ghibli really is. And that when you're looking at a Ghibli film, you can get amazing world building, wonderful characters, beautiful colors, great animation within only 2 or 3 minutes, because that's how long that short was. So it's just going to prove that yet another movie is going to exhibit all those amazing patterns that every single Ghibli movie does. And this movie, I was reading a little bit about the synopsis. It sounds like a boy's like spiritual journey, and I'm really looking forward to that. I actually really enjoyed the book Siddhartha. So I think that it kind of sounds like it echoes a lot of themes from that of spirituality, self-growth, and self-discovery. So I'm really looking forward to this movie. I know it's going to have great animation no matter what. And thank goodness it's Hayao Miyazaki and not whoever did that Earwig and the Witch. I think it was his son. Let's go ahead and maybe not do no more of that bullshit.
Shouts out to the homie Tyler. He says he's ready for Miyazaki to make him cry again, but also Earwig was so bad it made him come out of retirement. See, I knew I wasn't crazy. I thought he was done.
Oh yeah, said he did announce a retirement, but I want to say earlier this year or later last year, he was like, "Oh, I got one more coming out," and I'm like, "Okay." My man always be saying that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and whether or not this is his last film or not, because I mean, obviously, he's not getting any younger, guys. But look, he is a masterful tugger of our heartstrings, and all of his animated films are beautiful. As you can see in the picture there, Academy Award worthy. I am so happy Spirited Away won that one year, by the way. Shouts out that film. A beautiful picture. Please check out on HBO Max any of the Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli films if you haven't seen them. They're amazing.
One underrated one that I think goes under a lot of people's radar, and I don't know if this was a Miyazaki directed. It wasn't. It was Whisper of the Heart. That one is a very beautiful story between two friends growing up to really figure out and chase their passions. One of them's a musician. The other one's not a woodworker. He's like I think a sculptor. I want to say he's like a sculptor, an artist, but like it's a really beautiful, moving film. It's a Studio Ghibli. It's not a Miyazaki, so my fault. It's not a Miyazaki one, but it was directed by another director in the studio. Really good film that just flies under the radar a lot.
I can't wait, man. I'm excited. Studio Ghibli has not yet to make a bad film, minus the one that you guys have been so adamantly shooting down.
That old Earwig and the Witch, man, that was bad, bro. It was like a made-for-TV movie, and to be fair, I don't think it had the effort behind it that most Studio Ghibli projects have. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely. I think from what I've heard, it lacks the heart that most of
so much.
Hayao's films had that maybe his
it lacks it so much, man, and the 3D animation is just bad. I think this movie is back to the traditional 2D. I hope at least.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that. But look, Hayao is a master. I can't wait to see it. Moving right along, the 80th annual Golden Globe nominations have been announced. And surprised to say, I'm not saying I'm happy or overjoyed for this decision, but the Banshees of Inisherin actually leads the pack with 8 nominations, followed closely by Everything Everywhere All at Once with 6 nominations. Banshees has 8. Babylon and The Fablemans have 5 each, accordingly. Fablemans directed by Steven Spielberg and Babylon directed by Damien Chazelle. Again, as much as award season is more so, it's a lot more controversy than it is actual merit in terms of, oh, this actor is better than this actor and all that. But look, at the end of the day, I think what award seasons should be celebrating is the performances and the work of the filmmakers and actors and makeup and costuming and visual effects and everybody that's involved with the pictures, everything, all the work they put into. I think at the end of the day, these awards award these people to the best of their ability. And I think getting a nomination in either category of either it's Screen Actors Guild, Oscars, Golden Globes, I think just getting nominated, getting people to see your film, getting people like, oh, wow, it got a BAFTA for Best Ensemble. Maybe this film is pretty good. Those kind of things really, A, not only help a film's box office, but B, just highlight talented filmmakers and performers in front of the camera. So, starting off with Banshees, I know, Leo, you weren't the biggest fan of the film, but Colin Farrell himself got a Best Supporting Actor nod. The film's up for Best Picture and Drama. I'm particularly excited for Ke Huy Quan, who I didn't think would have a big run here, but I think with the Golden Globes as well as the Gotham Awards, he actually won for Best Supporting Actor. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is starting to build momentum in a very positive manner. So I'm excited for Ke Huy Quan. I'm hoping Michelle Yeoh gets a shot at a Best Actress nomination for the Oscars. But in terms of that, though, how do you think these nominations went? Was there any egregious snubs that you want to shout out, and how happy were you with the nominations so far?
So Golden Globes always seems to have some kind of weird, wacky, like, picks and weird things. Now, when it comes to Golden Globes, they can kind of affect Oscars, but a lot of people will look at like PGA and SAG and things like that for actor and picture and Directors Guild and things like that. Those awards are a little more, I would say those are a little more of what you can expect to see win some Oscars around Oscar night. So Golden Globes, yeah, but like, okay, so Banshees, I think, is a well-made movie. I'm not huge on it, but I do think it deserves all the praise it's getting. Everything Everywhere All at Once, people are kind of predicting that, and Banshees are actually the two to potentially be up for Best Pick. Like, they're kind of saying that these two very well might be the biggest contenders in the pack. So that's a really cool thing to see. Also, I think Daniel Detweiler, extreme snub. Don't know how Ana de Armas got nominated for Blonde. I think that was such a weird choice and such an out of left field choice that nobody saw coming. So that's probably the biggest glaring hole for me, was how the hell. I also think RRR, having just watched this movie and thinking it's absolutely phenomenal enough to be my number 2 right after EAAO, I think that got snubbed for a lot of stuff. I think that just in general, foreign cinema did snub for a lot of stuff. And I think that was something that I think RRR was something that could have gotten more recognition. So I think that was a little bit under-recognized as well. Other than that, I think there's a couple of other things here and there. I can't really think off the top of my head. Oh, Inu Oh got a nomination for animation. Thought that was cool because that's anime. Hoping maybe we see some more anime and stuff at the Oscars soon, hopefully. But I think for the most part, Oh, another one that was a little bit strange as well. Director, all guys, no ladies. With all these movies that we have directed by women this year, she
That's a
said,
damn shame.
yeah, she said, and Women Talking being just a few out of the pack. I think that's a little bit weird, especially we have Woman King 2 with Gina Prince Beatherwood. I'm kind of like, what? That's a little bit of a weird oddity there with all the guys, and I think it's Cameron, Spielberg, Baz, Martin McDonough, and so, okay, the Daniels. So none of those are non-deserving, don't get me wrong. This is probably gonna be a hot take, but I think we could have rolled without Spielberg this time. I know that he's pop of direction. I get it. I know Fableman's was cool. I think we could have rolled without that one though, just to give some room to a female director. I think she said Woman King, Women Talking, plenty of other movies this year had great female directors, and it's a little disappointing to not see any of them nominated here. But I think one of them will be nominated for the Oscars. So a couple of snubs in there, but yes, I'm with you. Ke Kwan deserves all of the recognition that he's getting. I think he's a shoo-in in the Oscars for the Best Supporting Actor role. I think he's a shoo-in. I think EAAO has a good chance of Best Picture. I don't know if Michelle Yeoh is going to snag up the actress, but just because of Kate Blanchett's and her performance in Tar. And then if anybody, I think Danielle Deadwyler will be second, a close second, if anybody else gets the trophy. But I think it's absolutely going to Kate Blanchett. So I think EEAAO getting all the recognition it deserves. Even Banshees of Inisherin, even though I'm not crazy about it, I think it is a well-made film, and I think a lot of people love and enjoy it. What's going on, Ryan Cam? Thanks for stopping in, bro.
What's up, Ryan? So what's interesting too is like I the way that Golden Globes always divides their acting and picture nominees is through drama being its own thing, and then musical or comedy being its own thing. I always thought that was really odd. But what's interesting, if you combine the Best Picture nominees, we got Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis, Fableman's Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Hoorah, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Ever All at Once, Glass Onion, and Triangle of Sadness. As a whole for the Golden Globe Best Picture noms, I very much think that minus maybe Wakanda Forever, I think that more or less could be the 10 nominees the Best Picture puts up in the Academy Awards, because they do allow 10 nominees for that particular category. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think I'll be honest with you. I don't think Triangle Sadness, Babylon, I don't think those two make it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not in the Best Picture. Maybe a couple other nominations, but Glass Onion, I think, might be pushing it a little too. But
yeah. And then, I'm just going over the directors. I agree. I think as talented as the Daniels are, and Boz did a great job with Elvis, which I loved. Yeah, I agree. I think we definitely could have slid in. I mean, no offense to James Cameron. I think he's great, and I thought Avatar was fun, but Spielberg and Cameron have done better things, and I think just nominating them because they're famous and they're established icons in the industry. I think, no offense to Meryl Streep or Jack Nicholson or whoever, or Al Pacino, whoever it is, sometimes these guys have so much, and these people have so much fame and notoriety. It almost makes you wonder: are they just getting nominated because they are who they are? Like, are they just getting that extra bump? So I agree with you.
Namesake,
yeah,
really?
like some people have name value. And it's honest. As much as I hate to say it, the industry, the award season, sometimes they just gravitate towards names, and it's a little unfortunate. And the only thing I wanted to highlight before we move on is Best Supporting Actor, because that's a loaded category. And look, I don't know about Babylon. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen The Good Nurse, but I'm hoping Ke Kwan is the front runner for that. But we also had a bunch of Banshees nominations. Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, and also this is not including some other films that didn't even get nominated by the Golden Globes. So that will be a race to watch as award season starts picking up. Overall, I don't think there was many egregious snubs, minus director and maybe Best Actress. I haven't seen Till yet, but
it's hard to watch. I also think our actor, I do want to call out Diego Calva. I think he was great in Babylon, and I was like elated to see that one. Like, oh, I didn't think that would even happen. So I was like a really cool nomination, and Ray Fiennes for the menu. That was another one where I was like, didn't expect that at all, but like, what a cool, great nomination for him. So
we'll see. That's the only advantage that Golden Globes has, is because the fact that they separate into genres.
yeah.
Like, we have Best Actress for Musical or Comedy, and we have Best Actress for Drama. And usually drama is the one that Academy Awards reflects. So what's interesting to me is that we got Kate Blanchett, Olivia Colman, Viola Davis, Ana de Armas, and Michelle Williams. And outside looking in the comedy section, we have Michelle Yeoh, we have Margot Robbie, we have Emma Thompson. So it's gonna be really interesting who sneaks in.
Taylor-Joy.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest.
She ain't making it, but I'm just saying.
She's had better performances. I like the menu.
Great.
But yeah, Anya has had better performances than the one she's shown in the menu. But that race, when we get to the Academy Awards season, is going to be crazy in a few months' time. But more or less, I think the Golden Globes actually hit most of this on the nose, at least with the field they've given us. So, when the Screen Actors Guild, Producers Guild, and Academy Awards start coming out, we'll start getting more clarity on the whole award season's push. But we'll see. Congrats to Banshees.
The AFI top 10. Let me see. I'm looking that up real quick because the AFI top 10 had Avatar: Way of Water, Elvis: Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Nope, She Said, Tar, Top Gun, The Woman King, and Women Talking. That's what I think the 10 best picks are going to be.
I hope so. And honestly, I hope Nope does get more recognition.
Man, for real. It's
Keke Palmer.
Little upsetting that Nope kind of got snubbed here. I mean,
yeah, and I'm looking at it. Did Nope get shut out?
I think it got completely shut out. I don't think
it
got
no
anything.
Screenplay, no directing, no acting. Like, I don't
think it got anything. I'm trying to see. I'm like, okay, any Golden Globes for Nope? I don't think so.
So real quick, JHC. He said awards ceremonies have never been his thing. He thinks it's important to give credit to those who deserve it, but usually they only give it to whoever they like most. That is a very well said fact, and that's kind of the nature of these things. Sometimes it's almost. I think I would
feel that way if Bong Joon-ho didn't win for Parasite, and if Moonlight didn't win, and La La Land won that year. I think I feel the same way, but I do think sometimes it goes to those who deserve it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hit and miss. It's very inconsistent, but for the most part, award season is a crapshoot at the end of the day. You could place bets on it and just totally lose. I feel like that'd be an interesting thing to have a sports betting system on that. But congrats to all the Golden Globe nominations. Sorry. And as we move right along, Avatar: The Way of Water opens with a $134 million domestic opening, which brings them to a global cumulative gross of $435 million, give or take. It's just estimates at this point. But I think James Cameron did a very interesting thing when he announced that to even break even, his film would need to make $2 billion. I don't know if that was a curse or a mistake. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. I feel like, look, just let the chips fall where they may, James. Whether or not you want to say that out loud to people. This film is going to do well in its own right. I don't know if it's going to beat Endgame. I don't know if it's going to beat Titanic and Avatar, the first one, but people are going to watch this film. This film's going to have legs. I mean, I was highlighting before the stream started that Top Gun Maverick is still playing in a lot of theaters. So I think that when the public attaches to a film and it has legs, which I honestly think Avatar will have, he's going to be fine. It's not going to make $2 billion like he was hoping for, but
right.
I mean, that's just the business right now. And like a lot of critics and friends of the industry that I know have highlighted, we are still kind of coming out of the pandemic era where a lot of people just don't want to go to the movies. And I think numbers would be a lot more inflated if people were more willing to show up at these cinema houses. So how do you feel about Avatar's opening, Leo? And do you think it's going to make $2 billion?
I don't think it's going to make $2 billion, but I think people are underestimating it a little. Saying things like, oh, this is a low opening and yada, yada. I'm like, okay, I don't know that it's super low. I mean, come on now. I don't think that's just... Plus, I think Avatar is going to have some legs. I mean, it's like we've seen historic drops like BVS and things like that, where it just completely drops off the second weekend. I think Avatar is going to completely stretch its legs out. And I think, what was Top Gun? I think it opened at like 140 or something like that. And look at how it's doing now, $748 million domestic box office. I mean, $1.7 billion box office so far. I'm like, that thing had legs. I think Avatar is going to have legs at least till February. So I definitely think it's going to end up making a bill, if not a bill, very, very close to it. I think it's going to hit that bill mark. I don't think it's going to make $2 billion. No Way Home didn't make $2 billion. Let's see. Top Gun didn't make $2 billion. I think it's just a little too ambitious. Hey, Isaac, I appreciate that, bro. Welcome in. Appreciate the super chat and $5 billion. Man, you sound like James Cameron, bro. But yeah, I think so. Backtracking on the $2 billion thing, I was reading somewhere that apparently that's what this needs to make in order to fund this and the sequels. So I'm not entirely sure if it's just the return for this or if it's the return for this and like the next one. But either way, I think $2 billion is way too ambitious. I definitely think $1 billion is realistic. And I think people gotta like not look at 134 million domestic as low. Like, that's not low for domestic only. That's not low. Like, I mean, I think Thor Ragnarok did like 117, 120 or something like that in its opening weekend. I mean, Avengers, which one? I think Age of Ultron did 200 or something. Like, it was like, okay, yeah, but that was pre-pandemic era. This is post-superhero era, by the way. The first Avatar was pre-CBM era. So I definitely think it's got some things around at this time that are going to stop it from getting to 2, but $1 billion easy. I definitely think so. Even a little bit over that.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. You know, you can never count Cameron out. And I think word of mouth on this is going to be really positive. I think especially for casual audiences, not the nerds on Twitter who want to pick apart every single MCU and DCU and Star Wars media on the planet. But look, I think word of mouth for this is going to be strong. I think going into Christmas weekend next week, going into the new year, January and New Year's and all that, I think people are going to start going to this. I think people are going to talk about it. The 3D medium kind of died off between like, you know, the mid 20-aughts or whatever it was. 3D conversion, it just honestly is not the route. But what James Cameron has showed is with the first Avatar film and now Way of Water, when you film with 3D cameras and you actually put in the work and the money into making it look good, it's a marvelous experience. And we'll touch more on that a little bit later in just a few minutes. But I think word of mouth for this is going to be really strong. So it's definitely going to have legs for the next 2 or 3 months.
I think this is going to be I'm going to see it again type of movie, like multiple scenes, multiple showings. I think people are going to view it multiple times, especially because, you know, from experiencing the first one, once you see it at home, it's not going to hit the same. So you're going to be more inclined to go see this one in theaters than you were maybe another Avengers again, or, you know, Ant-Man again. You might see those like once or twice, but this you might end up hitting 3-4 times just to soak in the great 3D technology. It's made to be seen in the biggest screen possible in 3D. So because of that, I think you're going to have a lot of repeat viewings as well for this one.
Absolutely. And just saying that, I might need to look up my box office. I might catch a screening tonight because I had such a great time 2 nights ago. I might watch it again tonight. That'll be my number 2 viewing. So there you go.
All right. So speaking of Avatar, we're just going to move right into the movies of the week, guys. Avatar 2, the big one. Really the only one. There's like a few. I mean, you know, Pinocchio came out last week and all that. But Avatar, The Way of Water. Lo, I'm definitely going to toss to you for this one because I know we're both big Cameron fans, but I know you're a big Avatar fan. Was it worth the wait, my man? Was it worth that 13 years? How'd you feel coming out of that theater, bro? Give us the lowdown, man. What'd you think?
All right, guys. So don't hear what I'm not saying, but look, I think that the time it took, what is it? We're almost at 13 years now, whatever it is. The time it took, I think, went to the actual visual spectacle that we receive. And I think that it was 100% worth that wait to get what we visually experience and feel in the theaters, whether it's IMAX or Dolby, or I imagine this probably looks great in real D3D as well. But look, James Cameron has delivered the technology we loved from 2009, that whether or not you love the dances with blue aliens, you still love the visuals and the experience that you got. And at least that was my reception from friends that I've talked to, family members that I've talked to. Sure, it wasn't the most original story, but visually it was stunning. And I think that they elaborated even more on that front. I think the visuals here, you can't deny how much and how well this technology has progressed. James Cameron is on another level compared to some of the films we've seen that just get converted to 3D. But no, what James Cameron's doing with 3D is, I think, the future of cinematic experience. And I think that for children of this generation to see this film, whether you're 4 or 5, 6 years old and you walk in the Way of Water, like, what's this movie? Ooh, aliens. Wow, this is amazing. I think these kids are going to get blown away the same way that I did when I saw Jurassic Park in 93. And I'm not saying that Avatar: The Way of Water is as good as Jurassic Park. It's not nearly as well written, but I think visually and technically, it's achievement in and of itself. It is a cinematic achievement. It's just a marvel to watch. Again, I'm going again just solely on how the film made me feel, and I think that is a cinematic accomplishment in and of itself. I mean, that's why we go to the movies, to feel things, to get entertained, to laugh, to cry, to have pulse pounding chases and action. And this film has it all. I mean, that's just what Cameron does. Whether he's borrowing from Titanic or Jaws or Jurassic Park, which he kind of does in Way of Water, he presents it to you in Pandora in the most immersive 3D functional experience. I was ducking from like leaves and poles. There's things floating in my face, and I was like, "Oh, that's just the movie." Like, I thought there was things floating in front of me, but it was just the film, and I just felt like I was on this planet. So hats off to Cameron for doing that for us. And admittedly, the story is a little, it's there. It's not blowing us out of the park. It's not the most mind-bending plot points, but I think emotionally and visually, I think Cameron hit a lot of good notes. So that's how I feel about it. I gave it a total, maybe a 9 out of 10, just based on my emotional experience of it. Despite the acting shortcomings and some of the script writing shortcomings. But as a cinematic experience, it's a marvel, and I think everybody should see it. Go get that too, Billy James.
Oh, you think it's gonna make 2 bill? Do you think?
I do not, but I'm just saying everybody on planet Earth should go to Pandora for a trip because it's incredible.
It's a trip. I mean, it literally is really, really good, man. I mean, echoing everything you said, it is a cinematic achievement. It's beautiful. Visually, it's stunning. It's got probably the best third act of the year, in my opinion. I think the third act is extremely strong. I think it elevates the movie in its entirety. I think it pays off on multiple fronts. I think the action is grandiose, beautifully shot. It's a wonderfully shot, visually spectacular movie. I'm with you. It does, in terms of screenplay and story, it does hinder. It's not the best, but it makes up for that in its shining moments and in its visuals. And I do like some of the character work. I just think, unfortunately, because there's so many different characters and so many things to explain and expand on, that it does miss on some payoffs that I think were deserved in the movie. And I think it also does fall short of some of the character development that should have happened for some of the characters. And I know there's going to be 3, 4, and 5, but I wanted some more. I wanted some more from Sigourney Weaver's character. I wanted some more from especially the older brother. I wanted a little bit more from that. I think that there was this conflict between him and the younger brother that was going on that I think didn't really come up until later on in the movie. And I was like, okay, had this come up a little earlier, I would even care for the older brother even more. But we kind of squeezed that in late on. So it just, unfortunately, it did suffer in some of its writing and character development. But I think visually, I mean, there's nothing better. Like, I mean, I can't name a single movie that looks VFX and CGI wise, that looks better than this. I mean, Pandora is beautiful. The underwater cinematography is absolutely mind blowing. Some of these beautiful wide shots underwater and seeing the nature and the beautiful color palette of these pinks, these greens, these blues that are just so beautifully neon, and the glow in the dark skin on the Navi was really just beautiful. I think it's a great looking film. I think it's a awesome action-packed film in that third act. I just think it kind of stumbles a little bit, but other than that, it is a good movie. I'm more of like a 7.5 out of 10, but I did enjoy the movie, and I'm going to be seeing it again. It's just visually stunning. And yeah, like see this before it leaves theaters, y'all. Like if you can. I understand that COVID is still, I understand, kind of still affecting film going, but if you can, see this one in theaters. It's very, very beautiful to be in, man. You feel like you're on Pandora, truly. So 7 out of 10 for me.
I was gonna say I had to like emote how positively happy I was, but I will say I kind of feel like how I feel with Stranger Things and Cobra Kai and just a lot of like content we've been consuming. I don't know if they could stretch this premise too much farther.
Yeah, it's like we gotta kind of wrap this up. I think 3 could easily be a good wrap up to this series, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need a
Cameron's
4, 5,
talking about
6.
4 and 5, and I'm like, yo, like a lot of this film retreads on beats and plot points of the first film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of retread, and it's just because it looks good doesn't mean it was written in a fashion that I think warrants 3 more films of this. I don't know, like,
and where it went toward the end. No spoilers. I kind of feel like we're gonna retread a little bit more ground. So I'm like, okay, maybe that next one can be the last one, y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, and like I was saying in the roundup, I think this film's gonna have legs, but whether or not that warrants a whole new trilogy of films, I don't know about that.
Don't know about that either, man. I don't know if that warrants a whole new trilogy, bro. But yeah, I'm so glad you loved it because you loved the first one. I actually do like this one more than the first. I think that Cameron hits again with another sequel where the themes are just deeper. You get a lot more from the child characters. I think from the younger characters, you get a lot more vulnerability in the story. You get a lot more about family, and you get a connection that you just didn't have in that first one. So I think that it definitely tells the story a lot better in this one. And you have just a nice, deeper theme of family and that connection. And I like that. I like adding in these characters. And I really like the character of Loak and his journey and arc. But I can't go too deep. I don't want to spoil. But I do think that this is better than the first one, for sure. All right, let's move on, guys, to our top 5 movies. And we promise we won't be here all night, but we want to talk about, because guys, this will be our last show of the year. We got Christmas next week, and then week after that is New Year's, y'all. So this will be our last show of the year. But let's talk about just our top 5 movies of 2022. It's been a great year of movies, Lo. Like, there's been some good stuff to come out. We just talked about quite a few good ones with the Golden Globes story that we had. So we've got a lot of great movies that came out this year. I'm actually pulling up my letterbox right now because I'm like, ooh, off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure what my top, but yeah, I guess I could start us off here. And let me bring up my best of 2022. I can start us off on our top 5. Ooh, that might be out. Okay. Because I just changed my top 5 today, but I'll go ahead and keep this one in. I'm going to go with Top Gun Maverick as my number 5. I think Top Gun Maverick really elevated that series completely. I won't say I hated the first Top Gun, not necessarily. I just think it didn't give me the premise that I expected from a Top Gun movie. I think I think the movie kind of struggled between being like a little bit of a lifestyle movie with Goose and Maverick and discovering and finding love and balancing that with the dogfighting. And I think it didn't balance it as well as it did in this one. This is so, first and foremost, technology has just come so far that Top Gun Maverick, technologically speaking, is just far beyond what the first one could achieve. So I think that the dogfighting, the great shots, the cinematography of them in the sky was just shot so beautifully in Top Gun Maverick. But not
Not
only
to
that,
mention that Tom Cruise was actually flying some of those damn
yeah,
planes.
yeah, and not only that, it's just you bring back these characters in a way that really works and connects with the new generation, and I think that's where a lot of reboots, revivals, legacy sequels can go wrong. But this Scream, these are a couple of recent legacy sequels that have just really known how to. Avatar 2, I mean, at this point, it's 13 years. So I think these are three legacy sequels that knew how to really carry the torch into a new generation in a way that not only very classic fans, but new fans could latch on to. And Tom Cruise is great. I mean, everybody that's in the movie is great. Miles Teller, Glenn Powell. It's a great cast. So I really enjoyed a lot of this movie. What is your number 5?
So really quickly, because I'm actually looking at my list, which I haven't updated, but okay, look, I'm gonna shout out Prey, Elvis, and Barbarian because you guys used to be in my top 5, but y'all.
Oh, we doing honorable mentions? We doing honorable mentions? Okay, I'll backtrack once you're done.
No, really quickly, I just because like I'm putting in a movie that I just saw 2 nights ago, so.
Yes.
So shouts out Barbarian, which was my number 5, but right now I'm gonna put After Sun at number 5. It's that quiet indie film that's just sweeping the nation with its subtle, very quiet, very almost slow burnish, if you want to use that term, type of narrative. But when it hits home, it hits home. And shouts out to all the parents out there that have kids like myself, and it hits home. It hit with me at least. After Sun's my number 5. I mentioned it last week. I think it's great. If you get a chance to see it, check it out.
Yeah, After Sun is really good. Just crazy underrated, man. It's just so under the radar. But yeah, what's up, Mike? Good to see you, novice cinephile, my homie, my brother from another
What's
mother.
up, Mike?
I'm on Pandora, man. We're on Pandora tonight.
Yeah, JHC said you transform into an avatar.
Yeah, man, I'm a not V now. We're in the Navi nation, y'all. But yeah, honorable mentions, man. I wanted to backtrack a little bit too. Cha Cha Real Smooth. That was my number 5 for a good while. Marcel the Shell, Prey, and Bodies, Bodies all made it into my top 5 at some point. So I was like, boom, honorable mention. Another honorable mention that just squeezed out. And Novice Cinephile, it might be in your top 5. Glass Onion. That one was so damn good. It was just in my top 5, but unfortunately got bounced out. So that was another good one that I really, really enjoyed. But my number 4 is the Batman, baby. And I know a lot of people got this as 1, 2. I love the Batman. I love what Matt Reeves did with this character. I think that the cinematography, the world of Gotham and how it's characterized in this film, and the dark, brisk Batman that we got in Pattinson was just so cool, unique, and different. I loved the red and black color palette. I loved the story. I loved so much about this movie. I wanted it to be, it was for a long time, it rode at my number 1 until EAAO came along and knocked it out. And it had been in my top 3 for a while until very recently. But the Batman, that score is phenomenal, y'all. I got it on vinyl. I love it. Play it almost, I would say, a couple times a week. I won't say daily, but a couple times a week I'm running through that score. It's beautiful. It's just a great Batman movie that I think is something different added to the screen. It wasn't just another Dark Knight. It wasn't just a retread of the Batman 80s films. Like, nope. It was its own thing. So that's my number 4, man. Where are you going for number 4?
Mad respect. Shouts out Michael Giacchino. Shouts out Matt Reeves.
Amazing.
I'll admit it, I haven't revisited the Batman since February, so it's been a long 9-10 months or whatever. But look, I respect the hell out of that film. It was a grand comic book picture and just a great noir film. Not even just comic book films. That was a great noir film. I'm a big film noir fan. But shouts out to my number 4, which I'm gonna be honest right now. 3 and 4 could flip-flop right now. But as I'm spitting this live, I'm going to put Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, that shit
I just saw it on Friday at Quentin Tarantino's new Beverly Cinema, 35mm showing, by the way. It was gorgeous. It was a breathtaking, emotional journey for me. I really liked the direction that Guillermo del Toro took the story. I mean, we've seen Pinocchio, we've seen the Tom Hanks version of it, which I didn't even finish, but I like that Guillermo del Toro really made this his thing. It felt like his world, and his version of the fairy godmother even gave me like echoes of the fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. And the stop motion animation in and of itself is just beautiful to behold on a big silver screen. I know most of you are watching it at home on Netflix. Please enjoy it. It's fine either way, but I'm happy I got to see it in theaters, and I really like what Guillermo brought to that tale. It just changed the story of Pinocchio for me, where I think that's one of those cases where you can get 5 people to make a Pinocchio film, and maybe the first 3 or 4 feel the same, but Guillermo del Toro's felt like its own thing, and I think that's the sign of a good filmmaker, making a story that everybody knows, something fresh and new, and I think he did that with Pinocchio. I'm rooting for it. Hopefully, it gets some Best Animated Oscar love and all that.
All right. Well, speak of the devil, that's my number 3. Guillermo del Toro. Pinocchio was just phenomenal, man, and just the whole theme of the movie and circling back around is Pinocchio being his own unique individual, and I just love the payoff of that at the end. It's beautifully emotional. It's moving. First and foremost, the young man who voiced Pinocchio, wow, he is like probably the best young actor of the year. He kills it with his delivery. He's very charming, very personable. Him and Geppetto have this great chemistry when they're together. I loved that kid. I think he did a fantastic job. And there's been a few child actors this year that have been a little rough. Looking at you, Armageddon time, buddy. But man, Pinocchio, really, really solid entry. Yes, like you were saying, Guillermo del Toro just really made the story his own. The animation style, that stop motion animation is just so gorgeous. Like, it's just beautifully animated. First of all, I didn't know Kate Blanchett was the monkey, and she did an excellent job. So that was a fun thing to find out, fun little tidbit. But Ewan McGregor was great as Sebastian J. Cricket. I'm not sure if that stood for Jiminy, but I think he was really great as Sebastian Cricket. And I love this cast. You had Walder Frey, the dude who was Walder Frey, played Geppetto. I think this was a really good cast, and it was magical, man. It was beautifully heartfelt.
Hey, Christoph Waltz.
Christoph
killed
Waltz.
it. He was the fox, I think, and he was so Christoph
long
Waltz.
nose cat. And I was like, all right, played a good villain. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie for sure. Yeah, Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio easily makes it in. Forgot about this one. Another honorable mention, Wakanda Forever. So good. Best Marvel movie of the year. But now we're at your number 3, right? Yeah, we're at your number 3.
Yep. So look, I gotta rewatch both of these films again, which I will. Support your filmmakers, people. Keep watching these movies. That's how you help them. Shouts out Jordan Peele. The work he did with Nope. You know, there's parts of me that almost didn't it forgets to classify Nope as a horror film, but what I appreciate is that in the same manner of Jaws, which is debatable as a horror film or whatever you want to call it, suspense, thriller, action, whatever it is, Jordan Peele delivered with Nope, a true blockbuster, a true engaging mystery with, of course, Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, a phenomenal cast. Shouts out Michael Wincott, who damn near steals the picture from me when it was already doing so well with Kiki. Michael Wincott, you may not remember him. He was the villain in The Crow. He has an appearance in Alien Resurrection, which I remember him from. He's a great actor, and his voice is so powerful. And visually, I thought Jordan Peele delivered some breathtaking sights. I really enjoyed what he did with this picture. I liked that it kept you guessing. It was almost like a great Shyamalan film. It just kept turning the wheels on the twists a little tighter, and you never quite figured out what was going on until you get to the very end of it. And I think Nope was one of the great blockbusters of the summer. It was one of the great films of the year. I'm rooting for it at the Oscars, despite its egregious snubs by the Golden Globes. I think it's a fantastic film. Shouts out Keith David as well. He had like 2 minutes of screen time, but it was a great film. I really, really liked Nope. It was beautiful. It was suspenseful. Actually, it had one of my favorite jump scares of the year. Spoiler warning, but there's a jump scare in that film that got me so good. And I always forget to include it with my horror list, but Nope excelled on horror front, blockbuster front, action front. It excelled, and I think it did really well. Shouts out Jordan Peele. Thank you.
Yeah, Nope was really good, man. I had that just bubbling outside of my top 10, but I really did enjoy what Jordan Peele brought to the table in that movie. He's got his own unique brand of horror, and I'm loving it, man. Like all his movies, there's not one of them I was like, I don't know. Nope, I like Get Out, I like Us, and I like Nope. I really enjoy all of them, and I will be rewatching them for years to come. I mean, the Peele-verse, man, I'm here for it. I'm here, okay? If you want to connect them all, I'm down. We don't got to do that. Like, let's not get any ideas. But I'm just like saying, if you want to do it, I'll be there and seated. Okay. But moving on to number 2. And this is one I saw today, this morning, guys. This shit is updated so frequently. And I know one that's on your list you saw yesterday or this Friday. When did you see Avatar?
I saw Avatar and Pinocchio on Friday.
Yep. So a couple of it's easy how quick these could change. But yes, this movie was phenomenal. Just like you were saying about Nope, I think it got snubbed at the Globes, and I'm hoping for the Oscars it gets a little more recognition. That's RRR, guys. It was absolutely phenomenal. Now, RRR is a 3-hour epic about these revolutionaries, and it's fictional, but the revolutionaries are actual former soldiers. But it's about 2 Indian revolutionaries and their battles against British colonists. And it is a beautiful tale of friendship, of love, of support. It is just such a beautifully done film. It's 3 hours, and does not feel like that at all. It is some of the best shot action of the year. I think it's honestly the best action movie of the year. Easy. It's got great choreography. The slow-mo is used well. It's over the top in a very good way. And it takes itself seriously and non-seriously in the best of ways. It's got expert pacing. The 2 lead characters will have you loving their friendship from start to end, because they're just such close, beautiful blood brothers. I love it, guys. RRR easily squeezes its way into my top 10 or top 2. After watching it today, man, I was elated. This and my number 1 are like, not that they're the only 2 movies this year, but they're like 2 of few movies this year that just had me like completely like transformed after coming out of it. So easily number 2. I think it stands for Rise. Let me see. It's Rise, Roar, Revolt. RRR. So good. What is your number 2?
I love to hear that. I actually haven't seen RRR yet, but I will be running over to see it within the week probably. I've heard nothing but great things from it from everybody I know. That's good to hear. That's your number 2, man. But for me, I already highlighted this picture last week when we kind of randomly threw in some movies we love from the year. But shouts out Park Chan-wook. Decision to Leave was my number 2. As a cinephile and a film nerd, and also just as a lover of Alfred Hitchcock films, I had the biggest smile from ear to ear during Decision to Leave. There was some really not only well-framed shots, but just thematically it had echoes of Vertigo and even a little bit of Rear Window, and it was really well done. It kind of like it was a Hitchcock stew with Park Chan-wook's flavor and style and swagger, and it's a great film. It's streaming on Mubi. Please check it out. It's probably going to be one of the front runners for best foreign film at the Oscars. So I think that's the push. It's Korea's nomination for best film, which unfortunately Triple R didn't get. I think the Indian was championing some other film, which I've heard from a lot of people online that was a big, at least mistake in the eyes of audiences and critics over here. But with that being said, though, Decision to Leave is my number 2. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, man. That's what I got to check out as well. But my number 1, and this excuse me. I think I saw this in like March. And honestly, since then, there's just been nothing to dethrone it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was everything everywhere all at fucking once. It was beautiful. It was heartfelt. It was sad. It was funny. It was just everything wrapped into one. Huge Michelle Yeoh fan. So yes, put her in anything I'm there. But you put her in Shang-Chi and then you put her in this. And this Michelle Yeoh fan is extremely happy. I love the movie. I mean, it's a beautiful family tale about, families that are kind of on the cusp of getting really, really tight and lots of conflict boiling underneath, but like coming back together and being understanding of one another. And I love this character, Joy, and how she figures out like, I'm the problem a little bit. And also Ke Kwan and his return to acting and putting him back in this. He's going to be in the new Indiana. Like, I'm really excited for him to get back into acting. And I love this movie, man. I cried, I laughed, I enjoyed it so much. EEAAO, nothing else was as funny. Like, it was everything, man. I thought the writing was great. The pacing, I didn't even feel like it was a couple hours. I was like, oh shit. I thought it was only like an hour and a half, y'all. We finishing the movie. It's 2:15 or some shit. Like, it's a longish kind of movie. But what I think it does very well is it's messy in the best way, because there's just so much happening and so much going on, different universes, traveling through different times and different universes and things like that. But like, what's so nice about it is it's told in this well-knit story, a heartfelt, empathetic story about a mother and daughter's relationship. And so I think at the heart of the film, it's beautiful. I love it. I think the Daniels did an excellent job directing, and I can't wait to see more features of theirs. It's easily my number one, man. I think I know what yours is, but go ahead and let the people know, man.
I am so happy. I am in full agreement, sir. The Daniels, Michelle Yeoh, and Ke Kwan stole my heart.
We're sleeping on Morbius, apparently, according to JC.
Was that Stephanie Chu, right?
Yeah, Stephanie Sue, I think is how you pronounce it.
Sue. Sorry, I always do that wrong. But oh my god, amazing film. And look, I actually really enjoyed Sam Raimi's Multiverse of Madness, but it's obvious the superior multiverse film was Everything Everywhere All at Once. And like you said, Leo, it not only hits every facet of cinema in the best ways possible and in a manner that I think Avatar Way of Water is worth talking about, but really, again, this is why we go to the movies, whether it's the action choreography, whether it's the wordplay between Michelle Yeoh and her daughter, and the comedy there with, like, she's trying to like explain to her that she has a girlfriend and she wants to introduce her girlfriend to the grandfather, who is probably might not approve, and Michelle Yeoh is just worried about the laundromat and how stupid her husband is, and it's just a classic. Like, the screenplay is so witty and quick, and it's like, it's fun. It's like those moments alone make it fun. It's not even just the action and all the multiversal science fiction stuff. It's like the heart of the story is a family, and like you said, and really it's your parents' approval. It's not just Michelle Yeoh and her daughter. She wanted the same thing from James Hong. Shouts out James Hong, the classic Hollywood icon who's been acting in years since like the 70s and 80s, going to like Big Trouble in Little China. Sorry, the John Carpenter film from the 80s starring Kurt Russell. So I think Everything Everywhere All at Once really encompasses everything that is cinema all at once, for a nice pun intended there. It's a great film. I cried when I saw it. I liked it even more the second time I saw it. And the third time I saw it, which I did see this all in theaters, it cemented it as my number one. It just was a marvelous film that made me feel all kinds of ranges of emotions. Shouts out Wong Kar-wai, who I know that Ke Kwan and the Daniels both respect and revere, with some of their Hong Kong shots, especially the classic one we see with the green tint of Ke Kwan in his suit with a cigarette. I mean, it just feels like In the Mood for Love, it screams it. But also shouts out Raccacoonie. I never knew I wanted to see a Raccacoonie film with a chef and a raccoon. But again, the power of Everything Everywhere All at Once, it makes you want to feel these things and see these things. So it's just such a fun picture. It's literally, like you said, Leo, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. There's not a film has stolen this fact that it's my favorite film of this year, and even going back to some of 2021. It's winning. It's just an awesome movie, and I hope it gets all the more nominations and awards to come in the next few months.
I hope it gets Best Picture, man. I'm going with it. I'm like, I hope it gets Best Picture. I think it deserves it. I think
That'd be a huge win.
Yeah,
for all of us. Like,
I think it also, I think it's just gonna also help Asian actors and actresses get more work. Because, you know, there was a video that Michelle Yeoh was in speaking about just being an Asian actress and how it's still rare to get these opportunities, and that crazy rich Asians have opened up so much for her, and not only for just her, but just for Asian actors and actresses in cinema, in mainstream cinema. It's kind of like the Black Panther effect, you know, in a sense that really helped propel Black cinema into a bigger blockbuster light, like Nope and things like that. And of course, Get Out came before Black Panther, but it wasn't as major of a blockbuster. So it's like Crazy Rich Asians did that for Asian actors and actresses. And I hope that this can also echo more opportunities into those areas, because I feel like with Parasite winning, and if this wins, this will be great for Asian representation in cinema carrying forward.
Absolutely. And really quickly, you know, I mean, she had Tomorrow Never Dies with Pierce Brosnan, where she was just supporting, not even starring. But, you know, she had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which was huge in the years that it was winning Oscars for Best Foreign Film and all that.
And it's not as huge now, and so it was like,
yeah,
cool. It was kind of heart-wrenching to hear Michelle say, like, oh, this before Crazy Rich Asians, this modern audience didn't really know her.
Yeah. And my thing too is I saw that video and it broke my heart, but really, by all means, she should be just as, if not as famous as Jackie Chan. She's just as talented. And in Super Cop, which was Police Story 3 in Hong Kong, but in the States, it was billed as Super Cop, which I saw in the theaters watching Super Cop. She did a lot of her own stunts. She actually outdid Jackie on some of those.
Yeah, she did.
She rode a motorcycle, people, onto a moving train. This is Michelle Yeoh in her, like, whatever, 20s, 30, early 30s, whatever it was. She drove a motorcycle onto a moving train, people. And I think she should have been just as famous as Jackie Chan for martial arts action. But, you know, whatever it was, Hollywood was not accepting of women, not only women, but Asian women. So it's a damn shame. And I really hope she gets all the glory she can get right now.
Yeah, women of color get too much flack, bro. It's really sad. Let's move on to our last thing in the show, the WTF moment of the week. This is definitely a bit of a what the fuck, because it feels like it's been crickets with an Alita sequel, but there's this great video going out from Directors on Directors from Variety with James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez making a blood oath to make Alita Battle Angel 2. Now, if this is gonna happen, who knows this is gonna happen? This ain't a confirm, y'all, but I mean, it's some kind of inkling that at least they're both very interested in making this. So let's have a look at the video.
Hey, let's make another Alita film. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do that. Fans,
all right,
more
blood oath.
Let's do it.
Right,
blood oath right here.
Okay, all right,
sounds good.
All right, thanks, Robert.
Real quick, real fun. Look, that I don't think it means like, hey, we're definitely getting Alita Battle Angel 2, but I definitely think it at least cements that they're interested in making another Alita film, low.
Hashtag Alita Army, stand up, rejoice! You guys did it. Look, I think you're right, Leo. I don't know if I don't know if this is really gonna happen, but man, I think it would be a mistake not to. I think, especially with Cameron not directing, I think with Robert Rodriguez directing, it should very much happen. I can't even remember how well Alita did. I know it was a little bit on the underperforming side, but there was a world here that maybe not more so than Pandora, but I think is just as worth as Pandora to revisit. I loved the world building of Alita. I thought Christoph Waltz and Rosa Salazar did an amazing job in the film, and I really want to see more of it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, man. I think it kind of got a little bit of flack for for a little bit of that middle act and stuff. I think in the next movie, not to mention, spoiler alert, Edward Norton, like, yeah, I want to see him acting up in the next one. After seeing him in Glass Onion, I want to see him acting up even more. So, oh man, but guys, it's our last show of the year. If you're watching live or if you watch post live, if you watch it when it posts, thank you so much for watching the show, guys. We'll be back in 2023 with much more news, more awesome shows, guys. Please, please, please be sure to come on back every Sunday at 6 p.m. PT, 9 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. MT. Lo, let the people know where they can find you, what's coming up for the end of the year for you, man.
Yo, so you can follow me at Marcellus Durden on Twitter or Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I am behind the 8 ball right now, but I am going to knock out a bunch of stuff before December closes for the Cinema Spot. Please follow us at the Cinema Spot on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you can get the socials. Cinema Spot, thecinemasspot.com. Lots of great reviews and editorials. I will be dropping a couple pieces this week. Still working on it. It's in the workshop, but please check us out at the Cinema Spot. I can't wait to drop some of the work I've been so diligently working on. So
there we go, baby. Hey, man, you got Scream 6. That teaser just came out. You can do like some theories and shit, like a little theory article or something. But y'all, if you haven't been on Cinema Spot, definitely be sure to check them out, guys. Be sure to check out Lowe's work over on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. Y'all, coming up on the channel, we're here at the end of the year, guys, so content's going to be a little sparse. Not as many reviews, but definitely got an RRR first-time watching reaction on the horizon this week. Also, lots of top rankings as well. Ranking the A24 movies will come out before the end of the year. All of my favorite 10 movies will come out before the end of the year, and then ranking comic book movies will also be coming out the end of the year. I don't do worst movies of the year anymore. I used to do that. I just kind of would like to continue with the best and celebratory things when it comes to movies at the end of the year. So we're going to be skipping that one. But come on back to the channel for those things, and then got a couple little goodies in there here and there, working on a few little Marvel themed things. So come on back, guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. And guys, come on back at the new year, because we'll be back. Sheesh. I think the second week of January, we'll be back, guys, in 2023. But y'all, come on back.